Let's examine the world of container shipping with one of the best ways to measure the true health of the economy, of course. Also, is the Gulf oil spill slowing down any of this business? Let's find out from an expert. We have John Maccarone. He is the President Chief Executive of Textainer Group Holdings. The ticker there is TGH. His company is up 45% this year, nearly 150% over the past 12 months. He joins us now on Taking Stock. John, good to have you with us again.
Thank you. Nice
Talk
to be back.
a little bit about the health of the container business, because, boy, you know, we've lived through the ups and the downs, and it seems as though things are getting a lot better.
They are, and I'm happy to be able to say that. The ships are full. The shipping lines have been able to increase their freight rates significantly. Just about all of them, as far as I'm aware, are back to profitability, and it looks like clear sailing ahead.
Now, when you take a look at the container business, because you just focus on the containers, you don't run ships, you run the actual, you lease the containers. Talk about what's happening in terms of the ability to produce containers, because according to the recent quarterly report, you said that they can't make the containers fast enough.
That's right. Well, if we go back a little bit to 2009, where we had the worst cyclical downturn in the 50-some-odd-year history of container shipping, all the container factories in China closed down for about a year because of lack of demand. They lost most of their skilled labor. So as they tried to come back to production, they're struggling to get enough labor. And the best guesstimate this year is that they'll be able to produce about 50% of what a normal year's supply is.
All right, so if they have only been able to produce 50% of the normal supply, how are you coping? How are you actually getting the containers?
We have blocked out space at the beginning of the year, so we're getting a lot of equipment. But the big story is that there's a worldwide shortage of containers, because during the period that nothing was built, the world container fleet shrunk by 4 to 5%. We also have this phenomena called slow steaming. So the ships are slowing down to save fuel, and that's adding about 5 to 7% more containers to the supply line. So container fleet shrinkage, slow steaming, it's all resulted in a significant shortage of containers right now.
All right. Now, at Textainer Group, what have you done to actually secure these containers? Because I noted that you've actually placed some orders, and you're talking about, what, like 90,000 new containers?
Right. Our orders from January through July represent about 90,000 TEU, roughly.
TEU, tell us what that is.
TEU, 20-foot equivalent
units, right? That's the unit of the actual container.
Right. And that's about $190 million of capital expenditure. We have space reservations for the period August through December for about an equal quantity of containers. So to the extent the market remains as strong as it is, this will be a big year for us in terms of fleet growth.
Now, you've got to actually then lease out those containers to various businesses, to shipping lines. How well have you done?
Well, we've done very well. Our total fleet utilization as of last Friday was 96.3%, so it's just a shade under the all-time high that we achieved before the recession. And of the new production that we've ordered, every single container has been either leased or committed to a lease. Even containers that will not be manufactured until July have already been signed up under contract.
So containers that aren't even made, you've already signed contracts to have them sent out and working for shippers and transport companies.
So they're waiting for them to come out of the factory.
Talk a little bit about what's happening as a result of the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. Are you seeing any changes in shipping patterns?
No, I haven't heard any disruption at all as far as the container shipping businesses.
What about the disruption that we've seen in terms of ships coming out of service because of the economic downturn that we've all lived through? I mean, a lot of container ships, they just didn't even get to the seas.
That's correct as well, but that picture is changing too. The latest information I saw is that the ships that are out of service are down to about a little over 7% of the world's container fleet, whereas a few months ago it was about 10%. So those ships are being put back into service as demand increases. Cargo volumes are forecast to be up between 9 and 10% this year, so a very significant increase.
All right, now if you got volume increases, how are you sticking on pricing? Is pricing firm?
There's some good news on that front as well. We do have some pricing power because of the shortage of equipment. So our pricing has been improving, and along with the utilization has been improving. Also, the secondhand market is very strong because shortage of containers there as well.
So if anybody's got some containers, I guess you want them to give you a call. Give you a call. What about the actual sort of disposition of the container fleet itself? I mean, I know you've got like refrigerated containers. Are they a hot commodity as well?
This year, the refrigerated market is good, but it's not as good as it was last year.
Why is that?
I'm not exactly sure. I think anecdotally that the space on the ships has been so tight that a lot of the shipping lines have decided to just carry the box container and not as many reefers. So.
Where are you seeing the demand? I mean, is it trade between Asia and, let's say, in the United States, or is it intra-Asia trade?
It's everywhere. It's intra-Asia, Asia-Europe, and Trans-Pacific. All three have been very, very strong.
And are you seeing any container manufacturers ramp up production in the United States? You noted what happened in China. Anything happening here in the States?
I don't think that's possible, because you build a container where the cargo is, and the cargo is in China, it's in Vietnam, it's in Asia. So the days of building containers in the United States are long gone, I'm afraid.
All right, we're going to leave it there, but I want to thank you very much, as always, John Maccarone, coming in from Textainer Group Holdings, sharing some insight into world trade, but also what's going on in the container and the shipping industry. And if anybody has some used containers, give you a call, right? You're going to give them a good price.
That's right.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.